What, you're saying that you didn't smoke a ton of weed before this one?
I did not smoke a ton of beer nor drink a lot of weed before this episode.
Come on.
Welcome, everybody, to Yep, It's Weed, the podcast where we tell you that, yes, this album is about weed.
Confirmed, it's weed. Identifying weed. Yep, it's weed.
Actually, it's Tuning Fork. I'm David.
I'm Matt.
This is a show about Pitchfork and that's what the show is about. This song is about Pitchfork music. This show is about music and the Pitchfork Media Hype Machine.
There we go.
Yeah. I figured it out. It's been a little bit. This time we're talking about kind of a weed one.
Kind of a weed one. We didn't get any... This is another guestless one, you may have noticed by the lack of other person talking.
Yeah.
We're just doing this as a twofer. So, Wavves King of the Beach. It's the third album released by Wavves.
Yeah, Wavves, the bedroom noise rock project turned landlord fuel of Nathan Williams.
And yes, we'll try to make jokes wherever possible about that, just to really get them out there.
Yeah, I was tweeting about this earlier today, but it really is kind of the ultimate example of the power of Pitchfork around this time, that he only had to get two Best New Musics to go from having no money to having landlord money. Yeah,
and it's also just kind of it kind of dovetails with. Review writer Ian Cohen's post on Twitter the other day about how, like, some other indie rock bands of the era that, you know, didn't keep getting critical acclaim are, like, you know, not really in great places financially.
Yeah, and, like, even ones that did, like Real Estate, are still kind of struggling.
Yeah, which, like, yeah, the one that he really put as the clincher is something that I would very much love to cover on this podcast one day, being the pains of being pure at heart. Just because they're just such they're like a band that could only exist in the Pitchfork Media blog era.
Yeah, I remember that album coming out and going, this wouldn't have gotten any attention otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the album.
Yeah.
It's like, it's perfectly serviceable dream pop stuff, but it's just like, the fact that two members quit the band and then went to join BuzzFeed, really just, that's 2010's indie writing in a nutshell, huh?
Yeah, they stopped being a buzz band and they went to BuzzFeed.
They kept the buzz going, much as Nathan Williams does on this album, where several of the songs are, and I hate to admit it to prove the genius man right, about drugs.
Yep, they sure are.
I mean, I'm going to try my best to make alternative interpretations for every single one of them, but it'll be mostly on the fly and improvised, so it will be funny and uncomfortable for everyone to listen to, much like real improv.
Much like real Wavves, funny and uncomfortable to listen
to. Yeah, no, I had my headphones on listening to this one. I didn't want to put Stephanie through it.
Yeah. So Wavves started in 2008. Their first album was self-titled, didn't get a Pitchfork review. Second album jumped right in with the B&M, got an 8.1, which is a pretty low B&M. Sometimes bands get as high as like 8.2 and don't get one.
I think the record for like a non-reissue was like 8.6 without getting it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't remember which one that was, but that sounds right.
I could probably find that it was something I got mad about, I'm sure. And then, of course, in the early years of Best New Music, you could have things as low as a high 7 get it. Although it definitely, by the time we were watching the site a lot more, it was always things that are at least 8.
Yeah.
The lowest I could remember in the period of time where I was like looking at the blog a lot was Most Def's album from 2009, whose title I do not remember, but it was an 8.0. I know its Pitchfork score better than I know its name.
Was that when he was going by Yassine Bey?
He is at the current time going by that, but he wasn't then.
Okay.
Which,
that was a couple years later.
I should refer to him as Yassine Bey. That is like the name that he is using.
Yeah. Wavves with 3 V's had Definitely still that self-recorded quality. The production was bad, but that was kind of the part of the appeal. It was the style at the time.
He definitely had a good ear for melody that you can hear underneath like the 18 layers of production that he threw on top of it. But the primary way that hooks worked was through repetition, which is definitely a device that he repeats on this album.
Yeah, it was very surf rock, with plenty of woos.
He puts a lot of wheelies, yas, and doot-doos.
Instead of legit lyrics.
Yeah.
At this time, he and Bethany Cosentino of Best Coast were together.
Because on the cover of this album and on the cover of her album from the same year is the same cat, is it not?
Yeah, Snacks the Cat.
It's Snacks the Cat. We're talking Snacks today.
Yep, we're talking Snacks. Snacks was one of the first kind of internet celebrity cats of that time that I remember. Maybe like Sockington came before by a couple years, but that's kind of it.
I'm looking at pictures of Snacks the Cat on Google image search right now. It's a real fucking good cat, dude.
Yeah.
He's just, I guess... Oh, did Snacks die? I guess he did.
That's not too surprising. I mean, this would have been 10 or 12 years ago.
It's just, all social media accounts for Snacks the Cat just kind of stopped posting in late 2014.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And Nathan Williams wrote the last song on the Best Coast debut album, When I'm With You. Yeah,
no, it's a pretty good one too, honestly.
Yeah, I like that album. We should cover that one as well.
Yeah, and if in the period of time before us covering it, you could always just go listen to the Fun Point episode from a couple of weeks ago where they covered it.
Yeah,
they did Best Coast recently.
I haven't listened to that one
They also
yet.
regrettably did a Front Bottoms album, but you know.
Au revoir.
Yeah, that is the first song on the album they covered.
Yep.
But I mean, I guess we should get into this one now.
Yeah, so King of the Beach, kind of his first professionally produced album. He made it with the late Jay Retard's backing band.
I guess two specific members of his backing band. Those being Billy Hayes, who did drums and backing vocals, and also wrote 2 of the songs on the album.
Yep.
And then Stevie Pope, bass guitar, backing vocals, who is actually still in the band, unlike Billy Hayes, who was just one in a series of drummers that this band has had.
Yeah, they burned through 5 drummers in 3 years.
Yeah, it's pretty rough there. It's a really shitty looking chart to look at.
Yeah, it's like 3 lines and then just stairs down from there.
We'll talk about one of those drummers in particular, I guess at the end of the episode, probably. Or I guess because we're talking about like the lead up to this album coming out.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'd be remiss to mention that like this album was almost basically a feature-length collaboration with Zach Hill.
Yeah.
Who I guess we have yet to cover on the pod so far. But that's only because like the only hella thing that's been reviewed positively by Pitchfork has been Death Grips.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
I do not have the energy for. In the year 2020,
we'll have to bring somebody else in to
someone
to talk
else will
about
have to
Grips.
we'll have to take point on that one. But yeah, like my favorite Hella album was never reviewed. Let's Hold Your Horses.
Yeah, I've got the CD of that one in my car right now.
And they did not care for There's No 666 in Outer Space.
Which isn't too surprising because it was extremely like proggy.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to it the other day. And I think I just like prog now because I very much enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, it took at least 6 or 7 years to grow on me.
I think the reason I liked it more when it came out was just because I was unfamiliar with what the rest of Hella sounded like at the time, because that was just the new album of the time, which is generally how I got into most bands, is whatever their newest thing was. And it just happened that the newest Hella thing that came out was very strange.
Yeah, it was their first album with like a full band that wasn't just Zach Hill and Spencer Syme.
And their last, because they didn't do another one after that.
They did do, they did do another album with just the 2 of them.
Yeah,
that was the last full band album,
which was all right.
Yeah, it was a serviceable Hella album.
Yeah, no, there's some good ones on it. But yeah, so Zach Hill had released a couple of songs with Nathan Williams that were said to be from the upcoming album before the album was called King of the Beach. So there's a couple more tracks than the ones that you sent me, I think, but these are the ones probably worth covering the most.
Yeah. So there was the first one that I remembered was Cool Jumper. Mm-hmm. Which I think
like
is
the second that one starts, it's like it almost sounds like it's borrowing like hella production.
Yeah,
because of the way the drums sound.
It reminded me of Zach Hill's album Astrological Straits.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just also like that's the specific way that Zach tunes his snares.
Yeah.
That they sound like you're like hitting a piece of sheet metal.
Yeah.
Which is why he breaks so many drums and so many drumsticks.
Yeah, because he tightens them so much. Mm-hmm. And it also has that kind of like noisy electronic quality to it. Mm-hmm. Which is a main feature in Death Grip's sound.
Mm-hmm. I had the lyrics open for these, but then I closed them by accident. Popped these back open.
Wavves Cool Jumper lyrics.
Yeah,
I know it starts with a sample from The Simpsons, a late season episode of The Simpsons, where a woman asks if Marge is a cop.
Yeah, was it the episode where she was a cop?
No. It was I think a Halloween episode.
Okay.
Where one of them, where I think Homer gets cursed.
Okay.
And
I feel like this happens more than once.
I've cursed you with, Kirsty.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I literally remember the line now.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's Cool Jumper. Are you a cop? Woohoo! You're cool jumping all the time. Wasted breath. I've wasted life. I mean, I feel like we could talk a lot about Wavves lyrics and not really get anywhere.
Yeah. This episode won't be very lyrically heavy.
No. Such a good track. I'm looking at the lyrics, I'm like, none of this even looks familiar to me, but I can just, like, hear it in my head.
Yeah.
A lot of woo-woos on this one, which feature prominently throughout the album.
I don't wanna, I might just lose my mind.
Yeah, that's a really good, like, sequence of notes there with that one. It just sounds so bratty.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, so it's listed on Genius as being part of an album called Babes, which I don't know if that was like an official title at any point for what became King of the Beach, or if it's just like a name for a loose collection of demos. But it contains
a couple of the MP3s that were put out had that as the album tag.
Yeah. So Cool Jumper, Horseshoes, and Hula Hoop were the three that I listened to prior to this recording. There's also Glued, which I guess also had Zach Hill on it. And then apparently this would also feature different versions of Super Soaker, Post Acid, and Baseball Cards, which are three good ones to have alt versions of because they're like really cool songs production wise. But I'd love to hear them in a different format. But I would too. Yeah, I don't know where those are if they exist anywhere.
Yeah, I know that Zach Hill didn't get any writing credits for those on the final album.
No. Which I don't know if they involved him at all, or if that was just like an early version kind of thing. Maybe one day he'll just put this out. You never really know. Anything could happen in the MP3 era. Like
that's true.
J. Paul came back and posted his album on Bandcamp officially.
Yeah,
anything could happen.
God. And then there's Horseshoes and Hula Hoop. Hula Hoop I don't think ever had a actual studio recording of it. They just released a soundboard recording of them live in a
playing
church.
In a church, yeah.
Yeah.
With a horse with no shoes.
Damn.
Really makes you think, huh?
Real deep. I've been through the desert on a horse with no shoes.
And so regrettably the album didn't come to pass. I remember I was just doing some like reading before this on like track lists for it and like comments around those track lists. And apparently, like, Nathan Williams was robbed at some point and had demos stolen from him.
Huh. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
So what if this was just kind of a food fight situation?
Yeah.
No, I will not elaborate.
Another slightly related thing that I found kind of while researching this was that Wavves briefly had beef with Marnie Stern.
Yeah, I looked at that and I couldn't understand really what I was looking at. Like, was that just because of Zach Hill not being Marnie Stern's drummer anymore at that point?
No, it was because Marnie Stern basically said that Best Coast didn't make good music.
Yeah, I mean, it's her right to say it.
Yeah, and so I know that Zach Hill and Marnie Stern are like super tight with each other. So I wonder if maybe that contributed to Zach stopping being the drummer after 2 months.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. It also just seems like Zach Hill, like, for a good while, was very prone to becoming bored of any project that he was a part of.
Yeah, that's fair. He's one of those musicians who has like 30 bands at least.
Yeah, I mean, he did do Death Grips for a solid several years, but then they kind of just stopped showing up to shows.
Yeah, that's true. They booked shows and then just didn't come to them.
I think Zach Hill might also just be kind of a dick.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's very possible.
So, this one got an 8.4.
Yeah, is this our first Ian Cohen review? No, it's not. He did Japandroids too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
he
did. Yeah,
he's pretty good review, all things together.
They had. Yeah, it's a good review. I liked it. It had a line about escaping from early 20s boredom and a depressed job market, which I didn't connect the recession with Wavves, but that actually really tracks.
It's kind of amazing how much, like, a lot of the music of that era that was kind of the buzz music kind of speaks to its own sense of capitalist alienation. Because, I mean, that's exactly what Vaporwave is.
Yeah.
Vaporwave is just recontextualization.
Too.
It's just a recontextualization of capitalist alienation. And Chillwave is basically...
I was working food service at my school dining hall for minimum wage at the time, so...
Yeah. And then, like, Chillwave is just, like, an attempt to, like, reassert the aesthetics of an earlier, more, like... I guess trying to recapture the pre-Reagan era.
Yeah.
Although I guess, like, recapturing the 80s is precisely capturing the Reagan era, but, you know, it took a while for his economic policies to completely destroy the country and the world.
Yeah, the nice aesthetic parts of the Reagan administration.
Just to be clear, we hate Ronald Reagan here.
Yeah.
My official policy is that I wish they would bring him back to life so we could kill him again.
Yeah, but I don't want to walk outside.
We'll get there. I have bits for that.
Yeah.
The review starts with that like connecting the lyrical content to the album with the job market, the depressed job market, and also connecting it with like the professional foibles of Wavves, all of which I'd completely forgotten about. Like him having an extremely public fight with his drummer and getting bottled at a Spanish music festival. Like, did not remember that happening at all until I read this review.
I remember the fight, but I didn't remember that's how it ended.
Right? And then, like, they didn't do anything for a while, and I guess that's when he just went to go, like, chill and smoke weed with Zach Hill and make some demos, and then apparently he got robbed, and then...
he got his picture taken smoking weed out of an apple, which was very funny.
Yeah, and then eventually got together with some old members of... I don't like saying his name. Can I just call him Jimmy Lee Lindsay? That's his legal name.
Yeah.
It's his old backing band, and then producer Dennis Herring. I don't remember if he'd done any other Wavves work. I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But like, because this album does sound kind of singular within the Wavves like discography. Like the albums after this do sound cleaner. So let's see. I'm just having a look at Dennis Herring. He produced Good News for People Who Love Bad News and We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank by Modest Mouse.
Oh, nice.
He produced Way to Normal by Ben Folds. He produced...
I have heard these albums. I know this.
He produced Beta Love by Rah Rah Riot. He did a Throwing Muses album in 1991.
Damn.
And he did the Black and White album by The Hives. So, like, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
He's also listed on here as having done Elvis Costello music, which... All right, this guy's... It's like... He seems like he's kind of all over the place musically.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's more, yeah, he's listed as a producer and an engineer, and I wonder if he's like Steve Albini and he feels more attuned to the engineer label of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy who's going with like the big creative input kind of producer, and more like, I want to get out of the sound what you want to do with it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to make an album that is called 1000 Hertz and sell it for $70.
Yeah, exactly like that.
There's a line in here that compares Wavves to like Brian Wilson, and also invokes a comparison to Person Pitch by Panda Bear.
This all tracks. There are 2 songs on this album at least that I can refer to basically as just being Animal Collective songs.
Yeah.
But like just like everything is more obviously an actual guitar. Whereas on a lot of Animal Collective stuff, there's guitars there, but sometimes you can't really tell they are.
Yeah, this was at the Deaconless time of Animal Collective.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like noting that at least like one song samples "Da Do Ron Ron."
Oh yeah.
Well, I think it's less of a sample, but more of a melody quoting. But
oh yeah, the thing here about Mickey Mouse, yeah.
Which it makes sense. And yeah, Brian Wilson's like kind of influence is all over this album. It's definitely the kind of thing he's going for, especially because he's doing like Brian Wilson-esque like over every single one of the choruses.
Yeah, that it's kind of the thing that ties all of the songs together, even if they sound really, really different musically.
Yeah, like he's that's one thing that this album kind of like blew out of the water, was like a lot of the songs on the previous 2 albums really just sounded like each other, because he was clearly just had like one instrument, one recording style, and didn't necessarily know what he was doing with it. And I think he put a lot of creative space into this one.
And half the songs were titled X Goth, and half the songs were titled X Girls.
Yeah, they were all literally just people's Xbox Live gamer tags that he saw while playing a spirited match of Halo at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, that's where all the names came from.
Yeah, I could see Weed Demon coming from that.
Yeah, no. And also just, like, Nathan Williams, just as a person, kind of tracks like the guy who, at one point, might have yelled slurs at you over Xbox Live. It just tracks.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who, like, eBay's vintage Bart Simpson shirts, and then, like, cuts the sleeves off and wears, like, a different one to every show.
just wearing a bunch of shirts that say Bart Mitzvah on them.
Yeah.
One of the most common Simpsons bootlegs is people making
like
shirts that say, I went to my Bart Mitzvah.
So, after this album came out, did you ever go see Wavves, like, around the time that this album came out?
Yes. I saw them at North by Northeast, which was once a good music festival and now just is a music festival. It existed in Toronto. And basically everyone would play like roughly a 45-minute set, and then you'd have 15 minutes to either get to another venue or hunker down and wait for the next band to start at the venue you were currently at.
Okay.
Very stressful. And the time I saw Wavves, they were playing with the Happy Hollows were the openers, and I got one of their CDs for free because someone bought it and then left it.
All right.
So it became mine. And then after the Happy Hollows was Wavves, and then Japandroids played. It was a hell of a set.
Yeah. I could see I could see that being the hunkering down and waiting.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one where I did not leave that venue that night. I wish I could remember which bands were playing which nights. I also saw Anamanaguchi and Free Energy around this time. And
yeah, Free Energy. They played that was the second set that I went to in 2010 at Pitchfork.
Right, because you were at 2010 Pitchfork. Did Wavves play 2010 Pitchfork?
If they did, I didn't go to it. I did see Best Coast that year. But then later that year, there was the Summer is Forever tour, which was like in winter. And it was Best Coast and Wavves, and No Joy was opening for them.
Okay.
And so they came to the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis. They had like a split 7-inch that was tour only. Still got it.
Nice.
And there was a 5-foot tall 40-something woman who was drunk the entire time, who was next to us in the audience.
Nice. my show was like, it was pretty well attended because like Japandroids do very well. I don't know if it ever hit capacity, and Lee's Palace doesn't have like a huge capacity.
Yeah.
And Lee's Palace is where I saw them. Scott Pilgrim heads come up. I was also underage at the time. I was using my brother's ID to get into that show. The classic, I have an older brother who kind of looks like me enough to not necessarily fool a bouncer, because I'd like, at some point it's just basically like, well, I have plausible deniability now, and they just let you in.
Yeah. Did they do the throwing beach balls and inflatable aliens around the crowd?
Yes.
And also, did he come out on stage to The Circle of Life from The Lion King?
The second you said that, the image of that flooded into my head, so I'm gonna say yes. I'm imagining, like, I could not tell you what the set list was at this point, but I'm going to imagine it was primarily King of the Beach stuff, because I'm pretty sure he was already touring with the old members of Jimmy Lee Lindsay, whose other name I shall not mention, his old backing band at the time.
Yeah, I have the vinyl, just putting that one out there.
This is what I kind of want to get. But I mean, they're doing the 10th anniversary reunion tour for it, and I mean, if they reissue for that, then I'll get it.
I am going to that show.
Nice. Well, you have to tell me how that is.
Yeah, the cover art is extremely 2010. It's got, all of your favorite things. It's got cats. It's got weed. It's got triangles, and it's got blanked out eyes.
It really is just the whole thing, huh?
Yeah. It reminded me of that blog where they took Justin Bieber photos and they blanked out his eyes and they put like odd future quotes next to him.
Yeah, I think that was just the entire aesthetic of the time.
Yep. Yep.
You had
early Tumblr.
You had pastel goth and you had nihilism.
Yep. So you ready to get into this one?
Let's get into it.
We got King of the Beach.
Let the sun from my eyes, let it burn my back, let it sear through my thighs, up the wide, wide open. Let the sun burn my eyes, let it burn my back.
I'm just gonna read I'm gonna read a Genius annotation on this one.
Okay.
You're everywhere I go. You're at the beach. You're in my dreams. You follow me and try to slow me down. Bitch, let me tell you something. I'm the fucking king of the beach, alright? And not you and not any of your little buddies are ever gonna stop me. I fucking hate this so much. I hate Genius. It's the worst website.
I feel like I could hear somebody at one of the shows saying that to me unsolicited.
Yeah, completely unsolicited.
But thank you to Dead Ghost 4 years ago for that comment that got -1 upvotes.
If I had a Genius account, I would downvote it, but I am not going to make one.
James Dallas Williams Triangle marked this as missing something.
You think?
It's definitely missing something. Such
but
as
I mean,
the song.
It doesn't seem like there's much to miss on the song itself.
No.
Talking about the beach.
Yeah, this is more of like a sound piece to get the album started to me.
Yeah, it's like almost like a mission statement for the album. I'm going to talk about the beach and and talk about my hubris.
Yeah, the like pop of the drums at the start really kind of gets me hyped still.
Yeah, and like a really good like jangle, and then the fuzz is really well placed. The lyrics cut through just enough through the production, whereas if you just listened to prior Wave stuff and then like came into this album dry, you would be amazed at how much of his voice you can actually hear.
Yeah, there's words to this now.
Yeah, and it's like it really has you set your own tolerance for nasally male vocals, but like as lifelong They Might Be Giants fans, you know that we love that shit, so.
Yeah, and then there was also Cloud Nothings at the time, who also were extremely nasally and did an album with Wavves later.
And then did an album with Wavves that sure happened and had no cultural impact whatsoever. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it goes, huh?
Yeah, and like They Might Be Giants, most of the songs on this album are less than 3 minutes.
You really do love... You love to see it. Like, the whole album together is like, what, like 30-odd minutes?
Yeah, and that's just because the last song is over 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it's an extended breakdown that makes my head hurt, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So Never Gonna Stop Me, Never Gonna Stop Me, King of the Beach. It's kind of the totality of the statement of this song.
Mm-hmm. So we get into Super Soaker.
Yeah. Super Soaker.
The day's done. She won't listen. She won't listen. My head's numb, and I can't hear her any
My alien, he's still missing. My brain's numb and I can't hear you. I think this one might be about getting stoned, but I can't possibly know for sure.
Another dead ghost annotation on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe Nathan did something and at the end of the day he got reprimanded by his mom or GF. Bold of you to assume that Nathan William knows the difference between a mom and a GF.
Yeah, no, like that kind of sums up the ethos of Wavves. Like you get in trouble from your mom or GF or your mom GF, and then you write a song about how your life is terrible and sucks.
Also, apparently he's saying cruise during the chorus, which I've always hated to hear. Cruise. Yeah. And it's literally just like the syllables of the CR. If it was just ooze, I'd like it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he adds consonants in there makes it sound like he's trying to say words, which are apparently cruise, and I don't like to hear them like that.
I don't either. I got used to it from hearing it so many times, but it's still not pleasant.
It's not pleasant. But on the other hand, my alien, he's still missing among the greatest couplets in music history.
He's still missing. My
brain's numb, and I can't hear ya. I mean, that's less nasally than he sings.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really love the breakdown at the end of this song.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a Dead Ghost animation that's not bad because it actually gives some context to the line. Nathan has mentioned before that he is scared of the ocean, which is very interesting. To be like a California beach boy, but just be like deadly afraid of drowning. Yeah,
for all he talks about surfing, like you only ever see like skateboard imagery on his albums.
Yeah, so like he'll talk about it, but he's not the drums. He's not going to let's go surfing.
Yeah. Speaking of surfing, I heard Swim by Surfer Blood for the first time in Five Guys restaurant a couple days ago, for the first time in like 6 years.
Oh boy.
That also took me back to 2010.
That was a blast from the fucking past there.
Yeah.
I think that guy turned out to be shitty.
Yeah,
like in an entirely different way than Wavves turned out to be shitty.
Yeah.
But I don't want to think about it or look into it, so let's move on to the end couplet here. So it's wipe all the sweat from my eyes, and then like just some real good guitar chugs.
Yeah.
And hide from the ocean. Waves crush my flesh and my skull, but I still feel stupid. And then he just says stupid over and over again over like some of the best power chords on this album.
Yeah, it's really cathartic to be this stupid, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, brain empty, no brain cell. It bounced around like a screensaver, but then escaped into the ocean.
Yeah, it failed to hit the corner of the screen a few too many times.
Mm-hmm. It's like, stupid, and then, stupid. And like, he varies it a little bit. And yeah, no, that one, it's just really fun to sing live, because it's one of those ones where like, you might not necessarily remember all the lyrics going in, but when someone starts repeating something enough times, you know that they're just going to keep saying that thing, so you can kind of just jump in.
Right.
Like, I'm very much idiot who never knows the lyrics to things, and I very much like to sing along to things. So what generally happens for me is I just try to pick up on trends and be like, oh yeah, I remember this part. I'll just do the vowel sounds.
Speaking of idiot.
Idiot is the next track, indeed.
I'll go surfing in my mind. I'm not supposed to be a kid, but I'm an idiot. I'd say I'm sorry, but it wouldn't be shit. But it wouldn't be shit. But it wouldn't be shit. But it wouldn't be shit.
I'm glad that we start this one with 16 seconds of an annoying laugh.
Yeah, it's too many.
I counted. I was like, is this over yet? And it wasn't.
This song is just Joker 2019.
You know?
Laugh. I bet you laugh. I bet you laugh right behind my back. I won't ever die. I'll go surfing in my mind. But also just like, I'm not supposed to be a kid, but I'm an idiot is like, you know, the classic late 20s slacker big mood.
Yeah.
We are all feel this.
Yeah. That's kind of everything that I see on Twitter on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. And there's like kind of part and parcel with 2010 Kanye of being very aware of the kind of person he is. Because he follows the line with, I'd say I'm sorry, but it wouldn't mean shit. So, like, you know, he's the perpetual fuck-up that keeps fucking up.
Yeah, it's the nihilism that we've come to know him for at this point, mm-hmm. 3 albums in. It's just like, you know, No Hope kids are so bored from the last album.
Yeah. And he's a hero in his mind because he bought up all these dilapidated properties and then renovated them so that he may sell them far above market rates and make a hefty profit off of them in this California neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't know what California apartments look like, but I assume that at least his have like the same exact like backsplash and granite countertops that every other thing that you'd see on like HGTV has.
I think so. I think I remember him posting pictures of them like before I unfollowed him from Twitter, and I think they're like kind of like a townhouse setup. So I can imagine like they're a little more spacious than like a high rise kind of setup.
He's got that townhome money coming in.
He's got that townhome money coming in.
There's some really nice sounding ooze in the background.
And some shana na 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 na.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I was always a fan of that in these early days of Wavves.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the kind of shit that I'm gonna pick up on to sing along to. Because, as I said, I'm the dumbass who doesn't know lyrics to things. So I'm very happy to pick up background vocal duties for crowd singings.
He makes it really not to be. He makes it really easy not to be that person who like starts singing the chorus and then gets 2 lines in and then just starts going and then you pretend to like look out the window as if you like got distracted by something.
Yeah.
Everything in like. In the mix has distortion on it, but like it's very on purpose, mm-hmm. which is kind of a contrast to the last 2 albums where everything was just a rectangle because it was gonna be a rectangle either way.
Mm-hmm. He does a lot of a trick that he does a lot on this album where he'll like stop the instruments and then start them again with the next line, like and have that drop period to like kind of propel it forward.
Yeah,
which I find is just always a good trick that always works on me. The drop, you know.
Yeah, that's where you get the audience like all to
like pop at the same time.
Yeah,
everyone time your pogos to each other. we gotta bounce.
Yeah, it's where you like without even trying, you start going woohoo.
Yeah,
because you're afraid of silence.
And then you're all going, but it wouldn't mean shit over and over again at the end of the song. Another one that's easy for me to pick up on as a dumbass.
Shit.
And it wouldn't mean shit. And it wouldn't mean shit.
Yep. A number of the songs on this album actually end very similarly.
Mm-hmm. And then we come to the edging anthem, When Will You Come?
Yeah, this one has like 3 lines of lyrics, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a whole album about beach aesthetics, asking when the sun's gonna come. I mean, I think it was downvoted, someone saying that this might be about depression. But, like, that seems kind of obvious. It's like he's going for a really obvious tortured metaphor on this one, right?
Yeah, the depression in the whole album is extremely evident.
Yeah. And also, yeah, we whistle in the breeze, we whistle at the sea. It's very, very whistling in the dark vibes.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
I think those are all expressions that functionally mean the same thing, which is, you know, we're not doing anything. Whistling Dixie.
Welcome to Wavves Confirmed.
Welcome to Wavves Confirmed. I mean, we do record Giants Confirmed in the Tuning Fork channel now. I just decided that that's where we record.
Yeah.
Too lazy to make another Discord.
Every song that has this drum beat, this specific drum beat, the da pa, it makes me think of Just Like Honey by the Jesus and Mary Chain.
I mean, that's where everyone stole this from, right?
I feel like it. Yeah.
Like
it's
that's
probably intentional.
That's the genesis of that.
Yeah.
Of that as like as something to use. I mean, there's like 3 drum beats ever. There's that, and then there's the Amen break. Those are the only 2 drum beats that exist.
Yeah, fucked up if you think about it. It's a good
no,
thing
we're not talking about fucked up this week. We're
copyrighted.
talking about Wavves.
My name is David. The falsetto he takes here almost sounds like he's making fun of his own voice and trying to sound stupid. Mm-hmm. Like the sun, we whistle like the breeze.
It also just sounds like he's really struggling with it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one where he'd blow out his voice doing it because he is like, in absolutely no way musically trained.
No.
And thus would not be singing in a way that would be conducive to having your voice work 2 years later.
Yeah.
Much like Japandroids, as we discussed on the Japandroids episode. Brian King cannot sing high notes anymore.
No,
he just physically cannot do it.
It kind of seems like a half-baked song idea that got stretched out past 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really like it as a song as long as it is.
Yeah.
Which, like, how long is it even? When Will You Come is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Like, if you told me it was 4 minutes, I would have believed you.
They got there somehow.
But then we come to the ultimate short banger after that, though.
Yeah. Post-acid.
Shortest track on the album at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and it's also the one with the most plays in my iTunes because it was in my 5-star playlist for I think it's still there.
Yeah, do you kind of agree that this is like the most popular, well-known song on this album?
Oh, absolutely. It's this or the title track, which would make sense because those were the 2 singles.
This always like got a huge response at the show. Everyone would like scream and sing along with the "You."
With you.
Yeah.
It's a good one. And then, like, as Ian Cohen notes in the review, "Misery will you comfort me, in my time of need would you understand," is like, I mean, I don't think you could distill, like, that late 20s depression lyrics better than that.
Yeah. You find comfort in being sad because it's what you know.
Of course, every single fucking written annotation on this is talking about how it's coming down from acid. The song is called Post-Acid.
Yeah,
but
it
like,
is.
I feel like it's a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's comparing an acid come down to parts of his life.
Yeah, this is the deep 2-minute song, and then before this we had the not deep 2.5-minute song.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even need to necessarily be deep. It's just, it seems dumb to say that this is only about an acid come down. Yeah. I think the real it's not about drugs, you piece of shit stoner, it's not just about drugs, you piece of shit stoner. Like, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. There's the bridge on this one that's just,
very, very fun to do in a live setting.
Yeah, I like that part. And then there's the kind of like tremolo effect that gets put on the voice when it's and I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just having fun.
That's a good way to do it. When I'm just having fun. Sounded like fucking A.V. Terror on this track.
Yeah.
Except A.V. Terror his voice just does that.
Yeah, his voice just did that.
It just wobbles. And then, I mean, that track, you have a clip here. That's how you edit this podcast. So, like, just hear how much the riff chugs on this one. The do. Like, it's so driving. It's like, the ends of those lines match up perfectly with, like, the tom hits on those ones. Mm-hmm. And, like, it really, really hits hard. And this was always one where if I had it on my playlist and I was walking somewhere, I would just suddenly be walking way faster. Because I'm just like almost syncing up with it. Like it has a very, very strong rhythm to it. And like it's clear that he got it.
He turn into Matt Train.
Exactly. He really he lucked out grabbing a good rhythm section for this album, you gotta say.
Yeah. And you can tell that they're like way more experienced than he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they've clearly been playing music for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And are more used to a live setting.
Yep. Next is Take on the World.
Well, hey, my riding, it's all the same. When it drips like posture, my head just hangs. And I hate myself, man, but who's to blame? I guess I'm just see-through window panes because of this song.
This is another one where he does the tremolo on his voice a lot.
Yeah.
For the chorus part, the Take on the World, it would be something.
And it's got the ending that is repeated again. The something.
Almost the exact same way that the Stupids end on Super Soaker.
Yeah, stupid something.
They're the same. It's the fucking same thing. I mean, it whips, so it's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like,
good.
I hate my writing, it's all the same. It trips like posture, my head just hangs. I hate myself, man, but who's to blame? I'm just see-through window panes. I can't believe Nathan Williams invented hashtag rap. Childish Gambino
who? Did Donald Glover ever rap over Wavves?
You know what? I'm gonna look up the I'm Just a Rapper EPs.
Yeah. This seems like an artist he would have picked just to get on top of that the hype train of the time.
Let's see.
But like Wavves here wishes that he could do something more interesting with his life and fix his problems, but maybe that's why he became a landlord.
COD.
To rent out the world would be something.
There'll be some stuff to cut out here because I'm just like trying to look up the mixtapes here, and it's difficult.
Yeah. I'm just a rapper.
But I'm not a rapper.
He's a fucking walking paradox. No, he's not.
I did rewatch the
Yonkers video.
No, the Super Hot Fire. Rap videos. They're still good. So let's see. New Prince is over Crown on the Ground. Bitch Look at Me Now is over 2 weeks. 49er Shirt is over Orange Shirt by... God, what was that project called? The Vampire Weekend side. Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
I Can Hear Your Feet was over Yesair. I Love Clothes was over Deadbeat Summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Both Hands over Black Rainbow. I can't
believe
Who are we going to
ask to get on the show to talk about Neon Indian?
Let's try to get Neon Indian on.
I think maybe we wanted to get Carles on for Neon Indian.
Oh my god, yeah, no, that would be the ideal.
Yeah.
But close second is Neon Indian himself.
Yeah. Alan Palomo, hit us up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he ever did anything over a Wavves track.
Okay.
I don't think that would work sonically.
Yeah, probably not.
Because, like, he was just rapping over the tracks themselves, like he wasn't even cutting samples.
Actually, this next one might have been a good candidate for getting rapped over. Baseball Cards.
This is, one, literally just an Animal Collective song. And two, the opposite of Summertime Clothes.
True.
Because this one's talking about he doesn't want to walk outside. And that one is he wants to walk outside.
Yeah.
I think this is the alternate universe where where she doesn't come to ask him to walk outside. Because at the end he's like, I don't want to walk outside without you.
Oh, okay.
She just doesn't. She never came by. And he wasn't going to go out by himself and strip to the sheets and the AC squeaks. The voice on the clock says he's not going to get tired. The wall is a pool and the bed's on fire. soak my head in the sink for a while. I don't need to keep doing
this. We'll just do the whole thing.
I could.
I don't know what kind of filter is on his vocals on this song, but it's an interesting, like you said, Animal Collective-y type effect.
It's literally just wet. He put it through a wet filter.
Yeah.
I mean, wet does literally mean something in sound design, but not that. I mean wet as in water.
This one is almost like a swing song. It's a very odd, like, compared to the rest of the album, it's very, like, 50s, 60s pop. Like, this would have been on the Lawrence Welk show.
Yeah, no, it has kind of a doo-wop thing going on with it, a little bit.
Yeah. I could see a bunch of, like, white, smiling, choreographed dancers from a movie doing a big number to this one.
Yeah, and I could really, he really puts a lot of mustard on all his vowels. Really spreads them out.
And he tops that mustard with all the sha-la-la-la-las.
Yeah, another one with a good set of sha-na-nas on it.
Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-na-na-na-na-na.
A couple of good Brendan Shanahans on this one. Hockey joke.
A couple of good. Nope, I couldn't think of a musician with a similar name.
A couple of Dananananaykroyds.
There you go. I forgot that they were a band.
That's pulling from a deep barrel.
Oh yeah. Did they ever put out more than just that one album?
I think they did, but I could not tell you.
I'll have to look them up after this.
I'm not even gonna look it up. I'll just plug my external hard drive in and go to their folder and see if there's 2 items in it instead of 1. The ultimate archaeology of just looking at my old hard drive.
Yeah, I do have my old external hard drive here with its massive 320 gigabytes of storage.
Hell yes.
and its mini USB port.
Oh, horrible! I don't like that.
Yeah.
I really love the, I don't know if it's a guitar or a synth effect on it, but the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do
Oh, yeah.
that's going throughout this song. Like, I don't know how to describe it very well. This is, like, always the conundrum I come with when I want to, like, make music, is that I could never tell what sounds are, and then, as such, I could never, like, if I have a sound in my head, I wouldn't know how to reproduce it.
Yeah, it's a really kind of like analog synth flavor, with a little bit of like vibrato on it, to make it sound a little crunchier.
Yeah, and it goes so well with the sha-na-na-na-nas.
Yeah,
and that's like my favorite part of the track. And then of course the fucking annotation on this: an anthem track for people the morning after a night of getting fucked up. Whereas like this is clearly just like a longing track. The dude's lonely. This is a loneliness song.
I feel like Dylan Shane here is kind of calling himself out here.
Yeah, he's really projecting onto that one.
He probably listened to this song while he was doing the Walk of Shame.
Because it's just like, if you really think about the song, and then also the way that the kind of chords that he wrote it in, it's just kind of a sad song.
If you think about the song and look at the guitar tab, it spells W-E-E-D.
Nice.
Because it's got a W chord in it.
Wumbo.
Yeah, the forgotten chord of Wumbo.
The Wumbo chord.
We all know it. You know it. You love it.
You know it. You love it. Then we got Convertible Balloon.
Shining in the sun like a convertible balloon. Shining in the sun like an incredible glow. Driving around with my convertible tunes. Partying around in my invertible cocoon.
Yeah, I hated this song at first, but it's grown on me.
I still hate it.
This one's more of a chillwave song than a punk song.
It is. Okay, what do I like about this song? I like the little guitar noodles at the end of the lines. Like, deet, deet, deet. I hate the lyrics.
It's not good.
I hate the way that he ends the lines. Balloon, and then incredible gloom.
Yeah,
Partying around in my invertible cocoon. Like, he never wants to, like, just let the words stay. And it just does not work for me at all. This is one of the 2 tracks on the album that were not written by Nathan Williams.
Yeah, this one was written by Billy Hayes?
Yeah, this was a Billy Hayes one.
Okay.
He doesn't sing on this one, although he does sing on the other track he wrote.
That one is coming up still?
He wrote Baby Say Goodbye, and then also sings on it. That's not Nathan singing on that track.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which, like,
now that it was pointed different there.
Now that it was pointed out to me, it's really obvious. But like, everything's through so many layers of compression, and it's not like he's singing in a particularly unique voice.
Yeah, no.
It's like I listened to Blink-182 when I was younger.
Literally anyone could have been singing on the last two Wavves albums, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Exactly. They
would just sound like they were singing through a kazoo.
Anyway, I wonder if he has enough money for a convertible balloon now that he's a parasite on society.
Hey.
He's gonna convertible these apartments into some high-rent units.
Sitting alone, renovating my room.
Playing Nintendo in my room. Yep. Mood.
Yeah, big mood.
I can relate.
I definitely hooked up my Wii to my parents' old 13-inch color TV with the dials on it.
Hell yes.
Turned to Channel 3.
It's all about Channel 3. I just recently bought an NES, and it has a little switch on it where you can switch between Channel 3 and Channel 4.
Yep, because not everyone got Channel 4.
That's how that worked.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and you hooked it up to the two little antenna screws on the back of your TV.
Thankfully, I did not. I got the one that doesn't have the coax because I don't like coax cables.
Yeah.
They just seem too flimsy for me.
Yeah, my Atari came with one of those, and I believe it said computer switch on it. Nice.
Yeah, ours, my old NES from when I was a kid had a coax cable, and we eventually just gave it away when it just stopped working on our TV. And I think that's just because we damaged the coax connection by moving the cable around too much, because it's like a really, really thin piece of wire in the middle, and it's very, very bendable. Yeah. Whereas I really like the snug fit of the red and yellows, whatever the hell, RCA cables. Yeah. Those, I like that better. Seems a lot neater.
You got a nice CRT to practice your Tetris on?
I don't yet. I'll just hook it up to a regular, a small flat screen that I have, because that seems like
if you want to play Tetris Melee, you have to have a CRT.
I know if I want to play Tetris Melee, I need a CRT, but I'll get there. For now, anyway, I need to get a capture card so I can play it on the internet.
That's true. The next one is possibly about weed. Not sure. Anyway,
it's called Green Eyes.
Green eyes, I'd run away with you. Green eyes, 'cause I'm a fool. I tried staying away. I'm just not man enough. I'm just not man enough.
He made a song. He really just went out there and made a song about how he smokes so much weed that it makes him obnoxious, and he made it whip.
That's, yeah. The famous term for the eyes you get when you're stoned, green eyes.
Like the green ones. He smoked so much weed, they went right past red to green. His eyes said, fuck a warm color.
His eyes turned to Jim Carrey's Grinch eyes.
Oh my god, I can't believe this song's called Ginch Eyes. Anyway, genius annotation, one contributor. This song could either be about marijuana, which is Wavves frontman Nathan Williams has an affinity for, or a girl with green eyes. Either or.
Yeah, either or. Yeah, not really sure. Couldn't really make heads or tails of it. Don't think it's really about weed. Definitely the line "sky high, I fly high lately, so I'll soar right through it."
Yeah, no, I don't think that's referring to weed at all.
No.
That I'm to blame because I'm so lame means it couldn't possibly be about weed, because smoking weed makes you cool.
It's true.
And he's just not man enough. I guess that's the idea, that he was like, trying to not let weed define his personality, but he's not man enough for it.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of like the post like classic Wavves era, like either like shortly after each album came out, or I listened to the album V or 5 or I don't remember which one it is yesterday, and like I feel like the weed imagery kind of he grew out of it a little bit.
Right. I mean, it works on this album is the thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a well you can't really nail forever unless you're like the band Sleep. But even then, it's just like Dope Smoker's just a really good album. So
true.
So it's
The second verse, when the glockenspiel comes in, it makes it sound a bit more sincere in a way.
I mean, I do think the song is
classic indie pop thing of bringing in like the toy instruments.
Well, I mean, I think the song is sincere.
Yeah,
I feel like this song almost reads like, I wish weed didn't define my personality, so it's kind of good that he eventually got away from it. Unfortunately, that did coincide almost directly with him becoming a landlord, so, maybe it would have been better if he kept smoking weed and he wasn't exploiting people for the things they need to live. That's
fair. Especially in California.
If he was man enough, he would sell all his properties.
He would, at the very least, he would make them low rent. And, let somebody live there for, I don't know, a couple $100 a month.
I mean, my own friends hate me, but I don't give a shit. Rent's high. Will I keep the rent high? Maybe. So we'll soar right through it in first class, because that's what I can afford to fly.
Yeah. He gets the suites that have the bed on the plane.
Fuck. God, I wish that were me. It's like, look, I don't want to be rich, and I think certain amounts of wealth are inherently exploitative, but I also just want to be comfortable on a plane for once. Just once in my life. I'm not even tall.
I would love to be able to be horizontal on a plane.
God. Can you imagine how those G-forces would be hitting?
Oh, so good.
So good.
It's like the ultimate heavy blanket.
Yeah, exactly. This next track has just one verse that's repeated 4 times.
Yeah, it does. This is Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, this is Mickey Mouse. Christ, I just need to listen to this song right now. Give me a sec.
I never want to leave home. Everything in the back of my brain. Somebody copied Ian Cohen's commentary about person pitch into this genius article. Yeah, it says, in which Wavves distills the essence of Panda Bear's person pitch into 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard this song prior to even reading the review, this was the other one that I could say is basically just an Animal Collective track.
Yeah, it's another weird swingy song with
especially the everything in the back of my brain. It literally sounds like him trying to do an AV Tear Noah Lennox harmony, one person's main harmony.
Back of my brain.
It's very, very similar.
I'm sure he was listening to Animal Collective at the time.
As were we all.
Yes, and I think this one has a drum machine rather than an actual drummer.
It kind of sounds like it, yeah, because the drums are a lot meatier on the rest of the album, whereas this one they seem very muted. I don't know if that was just an intentional production effect or if it was indeed just a drum machine, but
not only does the verse not change, the key never changes and the chord never changes. The bass guitar is just playing the same note in the background the whole time.
It's wild that this one goes for 4 minutes because it doesn't feel that long to me. It might just because I like it better.
Yeah. It's a good chill out track in between in the middle of the album.
Well, it's close to the end of the album, but it's it just seems like a good come down from Green Eyes, which kind of gets going real fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never want to leave home. Everything in the back of my brain told me that I would be sick when I'm out there. So
when
depression.
I'm out there.
That's depression. That's social anxiety. That's not wanting to go outside. That's not wanting to put yourself out there. Stay inside and smoke weed, baby.
Yeah. Do you think the title Mickey Mouse has any significance?
I think that it was in the review that Ian Cohen posited. There was just I don't know if it was there or if it was somewhere else. It was positing that it was basically just honing back to a childlike feeling.
Yeah, that could be.
I know that this wasn't on the Japanese edition. I don't know if that was just because of the title or
maybe
for some other reason.
I definitely could see him staying in and booting up his Disney sing-along VHS tapes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Man, he was only 24 when this album came out.
Disney sing-along.
He was only 24 when this album came out.
Let's see.
That's kind of
24.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking... Wait, no, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong Wikipedia article. One sec.
Doing math.
Nathan Williams. Age. He was born in 86, so he's even younger. He's 23.
Okay.
I had Billy Hayes' page open by accident.
Okay, yeah.
But either way, they were contemporaries, so I figured they would be pretty close in age. But yeah, no, real young when this came out, which kind of puts a lot of it into effect. I've been saying late 20s this whole time, but it really is him going for early 20s sentiment. I'm just projecting because I'm in my late 20s.
Yeah. A number of the artists that got B&Ms at this time were actually really, really young.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just thinking of, like...
And now we're still kind of seeing that, like, you know, Black MIDI is a thing now, and they're not even 24 yet.
Yeah. And then, of course, like, if you're going into the pop sphere, that's where a lot of the stuff starts.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Billie Eilish is, like, 17.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she just turned, like, 18 this year or something.
Yeah, and then,
that.
like, Lorde, when she was starting out, was, like, what, like, 15 or something? Something real young. So, like, yeah, no, it's weird to think that the contemporaries making the tunes are younger than you now, but, that's where you end up, right?
The Glow Part 2 came out, I think, when Phil Elverum was 20.
Wild, considering the lyrical content of that album.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Beirut's first album came out when he was 19, so...
That was the Gulag Orchestra, was the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Okay.
2006.
Then we come up on Linus Spacehead.
Apparently this one is about being so high that he would prefer if he was never sober again.
I don't know. I thought we could safely say this one wasn't about weed, but I could be proven wrong.
I was literally just reading the Genius annotation. I also don't think that. My feet are asleep, my hands chained to clouds really just feels like, you know, he dreams big, but he's kind of held down by reality.
Yeah.
And that really just kind of, my toes are marble stones sinking in the stand. I'm stuck in the sky, I'm never coming down. Playing these two things against each other the whole time.
I do like the bass line on this one, the do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, I don't really like the wee-hees on this one, though. I don't know if I was just sick of it over the course of the album, or if it just wasn't getting to me anymore.
It is the same exact note progression every single time that he does that. You get a little bit tired of that arpeggio by the end of this album.
Yeah. This one also just feels like it didn't need to go for 3 whole minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, there's not really much else to say about it than that, because there's not that many more lyrics.
Yeah, I get the Green Day comparison that Ian Cohen put in the review, especially on this song. It's like a very dookie song.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and a further annotation for the weed one. Nathan is experiencing a body high, and he is attached to where he is. I fucking hate stoners, dude. Just kidding. Some of my best friends are stoners, but
yeah,
my friends don't comment on Genius, so
my toes are really stoned.
Are you supposed to eat the whole brownie?
I'm smoking through my toes.
Oh no, that's illegal. You're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, I'll edit that one out in post.
Just put a long censor through it.
Yeah. Note to me, actually stretch that out to 30 seconds.
No! Coming up on the closer, Baby Say Goodbye.
Baby, say goodbye. Baby, say goodbye. Baby, say goodbye.
Baby, say goodbye.
This is the other one written by Billy Hayes, and he also sings on this track.
Yep.
Another Dead Ghost annotation. Wavves loves this girl so much he sees her and hears her everywhere he goes. I don't think that's the point, but whatever.
There's not a whole lot of lyrics to this one, but I feel like that's just somebody trying to latch onto what lyrics there are.
Right. Whereas I think they're just supposed to be kind of evocative, you know, gets the people going. And it's also just a means to an end to get into the breakdown at the end, where they're just saying baby say goodbye over and over again while like the instruments vaguely become out of sync with each other and they're kind of just jamming. And it's the kind of thing that was like fine to me when I was listening to it over speakers, but was absolutely nauseating listening to on headphones.
Yeah, when it starts getting out of sync, it sounds like one of those like meme videos where they take all the tracks from a popular song and slowly make them out of sync with each other.
Yeah, or like the Creed Shreds videos, where they're just like making this. Yeah, making the sounds based on what it looks like they're doing.
Yep.
And it just doesn't necessarily have to line up with anything.
I
That said, they were clearly having fun with that one, and I feel like this is the kind of track that works better live.
Yeah, I haven't listened to enough of Jimmy Lee Lindsay's bands to draw like a through line here to the sound. But if
I could kind of see the comparison there.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
I'll have to listen to it more.
Yeah, it's generally pretty good stuff. But,
there was that song that Deer Hunter put at the end of Halcyon Digest, which is like a memorial for him. Yeah, he would have laughed.
Very good track.
Still one of my favorites off of that album.
Which is obviously an album we're going to cover for a duo episode at some point.
Yeah.
It's too formative. Too formative to ignore. I mean, there's other Deer Hunter albums, but I feel like that's got to be the one, right?
Yeah, I feel like Microcastle is a close second, but
I'm not as attached to Microcastle other than, like, Agoraphobia.
Yeah. I've listened to it a lot more lately, and, like, neither of us uncertainly is one that really grew on me.
Mm-hmm. And also just Cover Me Slowly is the perfect opening track.
Yes.
Let me take the motifs from the track that's about to come up and do them real slow and stretched out and make it sound like a shoegaze song. And then on the next track, we're going to have not our lead singer sing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Locket time, baby.
At the end of my Google Doc, I, for some reason, decided to paste that image of Nathan Williams smoking out of an apple for some reason.
That's good. Can you post that on the Twitter, too?
Yes.
Good. Then I think we're done here. I think we're good.
I think we're done here.
So, I think the album generally does hold up pretty well. I'm reluctant to give Nathan Williams any money at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I'll listen to the MP3s of it rather than give him the fraction of a penny from the stream.
From Spotify streams, yeah. I mean, it comes to the point where it's like, oh boy, another song about young male alienation on this album about young male alienation in our music sphere where 90% of the music is about young male alienation. But like, he puts a lot of pop craft into the songs, and I think that's what I'm mostly getting out of it more than anything else. Like as an artistic statement, I'm like, I could go either way on it. For as something that I just like have fun listening to, it does really well.
Yeah, and like this one didn't end up being as formative for me as other albums of the same time. And like I feel like I listened to this one so many times mostly just because of like how much of a cultural zeitgeist thing it was.
Yeah, I mean it's also just like the perfect album to have on in a car.
Yeah.
It's literally made for that.
Yeah.
Like right down to the production choices, like it's like perfect for car speakers.
If I was the entire editorial staff of Pitchfork, I'm not sure I would have given it the B&M treatment. Like, I would have maybe come close and considered it, but I don't think I would have gotten quite there.
Right, yeah. It's like, the thing about B&Ms is that they just seem like such a weirdly political thing to put on an album. Like, it's such a definitive statement, which is something I found really funny with the recent review of Grimes' new album. One thing that I find a lot with Pitchfork reviews for things that I like that didn't get great Pitchfork scores, but like the review, there's like a glowing praise review that you would think would be attached to like a 10, and then it's like a 7.8, no best new music. Like Janelle Monáe's Electric Lady was like that.
Yeah. And the editorial staff decided it wasn't the Archandroid and decided to give it less.
I mean, the Archandroid only got an 8, and it didn't get best new music either, as far as I know. Oh no, the Archandroid got 8.6.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one I remember seeing get a B&M.
8.5 best new music. Yeah, okay. So, we had the rare reverse of this one, where the review is like almost constant criticism of the way the album comes together and the way that like Grimes has become like very image focused in a way that wasn't very interesting. Like, it's clear that like her album was trying to make a statement on something, but like what that statement was very unclear. And like the review didn't seem like a very positive review, but then it got an 8.2 best new music, and it's like, that was a choice that they made. They were just like, we heard this new album by Elon Musk's girlfriend, which is unfortunately the most relevant media title that she can have right now, which is unfortunate because she made some good tunes before, but like this is the lot that has been selected for her in life.
And Thrush Musk real.
Now I'm just thinking of the fucking Instagram post.
Yeah, she's... I said before she made like the... What did she do? Like make a Twitter account for the baby?
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
It's like, she's going to turn this into an art project of some kind.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, I think I think I liked it a little more than you, just because, like, at the time, I was not into as much of the noise rock stuff. Like, I got a lot more into No Age, like, after this than I was into
like,
No
I was
Age.
super into the previous Wavves album, Wavves with 3 Vs.
Yeah. And, like, you got me into No Age, but, like, it took a long time for it to click for me. It was probably around, is it Nothing in Between? The 2011 one?
Yeah, Everything in Between.
Everything in Between. Complete opposite. Okay. That's, like, probably when, like, I came onto that train. So, like, having, like, just being, like, Waves, but it's more melodic, probably, at the time was my main impetus for listening to this album and really enjoying it. So I think it kind of works for me a lot more than it did for you at the time, and probably... that carries a lot for me going into the present day.
Yeah, I feel like I was more into the sound aesthetic of Wavves initially, more so than his songwriting. And like, so the production of this album was a little bit strange to me as somebody who had gotten way into the last album, but like they kept it kind of gritty enough for me to go like, all right, this is still the same band.
Yeah. So yeah, it works. And
favorite song?
Let me just take a quick look at that track list. It's probably got to be either Post Acid or Green Eyes.
Yeah, I'm thinking for me it's either Super Soaker or Post Acid.
Yeah, like Super Soaker, as I was saying when we were going over the track, it's like the latter half of it grabs me so much more than the rest of the song.
Yeah, you're not into the cruise.
Yeah, no. And that's true of a lot of parts of this album, is like, man, I would really like this song if it wasn't for this one thing.
Yes, they made a choice there that didn't
They made a choice there. I mean, I'm not going to say it's an invalid choice. It's just not a choice that I would make.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one releasing albums, so who the fuck am I?
Well, hopefully that'll change soon.
All right, so I guess that's the deal. We've done it.
We done did the thing.
We done did the Waves. We haven't picked our next album yet, but I promise we'll name a woman next time, because it's been a while since we named a woman.
We have been considering Grimes, possibly Art Angels, possibly Visions. Not sure.
So I feel like if we're going for like the peak Pitchfork era, Visions would be the better choice. Although Art Angels was the higher scoring of the two, I believe.
Yeah.
Also good for the strong Pitchfork era would be Tune Yard's Who Kill.
True. I did just buy my first copy of that on LP, and I'm looking forward to accidentally buying a second copy soon.
Can't believe you're coming for me like this. I do still very much have 2 copies of Tune Yard's Who Kill.
Tune Yard's Wonder Emporium, 2 copies.
Basically. I'm really interested actually to see how that album holds up, just because, like, I know one thing that came up in later Tune Yard's albums is that she, like, almost seemed kind of weirdly tone deaf on race issues for someone who had been pretty good on race issues before, and I wonder if that's just a difference in cultural framing, because, like, 2011 is a very different time than 2016 or 17, whenever, the one that has Private Life in the title, and it's a really long title, and I can never remember it.
Yeah, I can feel you creep into my private life.
Right. I just feel like it's very different times. And of course, like, the song Gangsta was never particularly... Like, I could see what it's going for, but I don't think that song would fly now.
No, probably not.
So, no, yeah, let's just settle it. Let's do fucking Tune Yards next time.
Okay.
So, we got this on the record, so no one can... So we won't forget. I swear.
I'm David. You can follow me on Twitter at Daves, named after the famous landlord of Wavves, with 3 Vs.
So it's not named after Landlord, it's named after his album.
Yes.
You can claim a degree of separation there.
Yeah, I can. I can claim 1 degree of separation. And you can listen to my other podcast, The Stick, which is about Homestar Runner, that I do with friend of the show Zoe on Noise Space. We're gonna try to do another episode of that pretty soon here.
Hell yeah!
And I think that's it for me.
I'm Matt. You can listen to me on many podcasts, some of which include Elite Full Restore, also here on Noise Space, which is a Pokemon podcast. I just had 2016 World Champion Wolf Glick on, so that's
nice.
we got a Pokemon World Champion on my podcast, which is pretty sweet. And I have some cool episode ideas coming up that I just have to get off my ass and actually plan. We got Giants Confirmed, which David was on the most recently posted but not most recently recorded episode. The episode on Factory Showroom will be up whenever Trevor is done editing it. Me and Trevor are also looking to appear on This Might Be a Podcast to discuss the song Sense Around.
Oh yeah,
he was the guest on our episode about Factory Showroom. We're doing a reciprocal guesting on his podcast to talk about this song that was in a Power Rangers movie.
I was recently thinking about that song because I have the soundtrack of that movie on cassette.
Yeah, it's a weird one because there's a different version of it that was on some international editions of Factory Showroom, and then the one that was actually released for the movie is a much less crunchy version of it.
I'll have to seek out that old version.
Yeah, well, since it's a podcast, This Might Be a Podcast is just talking about one song for the whole length of it. I'm definitely going to seek out as many alternate versions as I can.
Yeah,
really
I'm
got to
also
get.
going to have to
that
listen
down.
to This Might Be a Podcast.
Yes, it is an undertaking. That man is very good at putting out content.
Nice.
Much unlike any of the podcasts I do. And I also do Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, which is a politics podcast, which I am on a lot. I think about politics way more than I should be.
Yep, politics and mass transit. That's the Matt trademark.
Yeah, those and Pokemon are my trademarks.
Thank you to Animal Style for our theme song Open Air from the album Open Air. And thank you to Nikki Flowers for the album art of the podcast.
I mean, you know what they always say.
I had never seen a shooting star before.
I'd never seen a shooting star before.